At 0401 hours, a federal stack breached New York's political command post. Not a cartel safehouse, the mayor's office. Why hit the C2 node first, and how do you lock a citywide network before it burns evidence? You're about to see how FBI and DEA synchronized multi-site raids, froze money, and seized laptops in the same minute across 4 states, so the machine couldn't adapt. Stay for the AR, entry sequencing, evidence denial, and the targeting logic that treats corruption like an enemy battle network.
Police! A little farther, bro. A little more. Okay, good, you're good, you're good. We're good. Step right, step back forward.
We also managed to prevent the potential production of 29 tons of cocaine by destroying 475 laboratories.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
The operation would include American troops and intelligence officers on the ground striking drug labs and cartel leaders south of the border. This would essentially open a new front. The Trump administration planning a new mission to target drug cartels in Mexico. This is all according to 4 current and former U.S. officials familiar with that effort in the president's military campaign against cartels, which is thus far focused on strikes against alleged drug-carrying boats. Well, on Saturday, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced what appears to be the 15th boat strike in the Caribbean.
A city wakes to quiet streets. At 0401, a door charge resets the battle space. Why the mayor's office, and why that minute? Because that office is a command and control node. From that desk, one call can torch evidence, pulse alerts through staff chats, and sweep funds through routine authorizations. You neutralize the switchboard before it lights up. You take the brain, and the limbs stutter. But political space fights back without firing a shot. Doors gated by privilege, floors screened by optics. Layers of access that slow you, and a media glare that punishes any stumble. Telegraphed moves leak. Leaks trigger lawyers. Lawyers buy time. Time erases data, so you exploit human clocks. Early morning means low traffic, few aides, and sleepy custodial rhythms. Pair that with sealed warrants and pre-staged cyber authority and you deny the seconds needed to shred, wipe, or move files offsite.
Colombia's Navy has seized more than 1,400 tons of narcotics in a multinational operation after uncovering a new cross-Pacific trafficking route. The haul includes cocaine, marijuana and methamphetamine. The international operation to catch the traffickers included the United States, Spain and 60 other countries. Among the seized vessels used by the drug traffickers were 6 semi-submersibles intercepted in the Pacific Ocean. The vessels were carrying 5 tons of cocaine destined for the Australian black market.
These seizures have impacted the finances of transnational crime organizations, preventing them from receiving $8.4 trillion.
The logic is simple, the effect is decisive. The target map is narrow and lethal, executive suite for the sign-off authority, comms endpoints for the alert tree, scheduling staff for movement patterns, digital vaults for contracts and payments, and old-world safes for the hard copy ledger. Each node is a nerve. Each nerve gets clipped. The stack moves in lanes. Entry cracks and floods. Security holds corridors and badges doors. Evidence teams bag paper and tag chain of custody. Digital exploitation spins up write blockers, images drives, and rips volatile RAM before it fades. Every team owns a timeline. No drift. Meanwhile, finance units coordinate parallel freezes. Treasury and financial crimes partners pinch shell accounts like tourniquets. Seconds matter when automated disbursements can roll at start of business. The goal is flow stoppage, not just a headline. On-site imaging pushes to a fusion cell in real time. Analysts cross-check file names, invoice codes, and calendar entries, then feed back taskings as the physical team clears adjoining offices for secondary stashes and burner devices. The loop stays hot. Payoff: the 0401 breach buys uncontested minutes. Phones go quiet. The ledger stops moving. A sprawling network becomes a frozen tableau. With the head pinned, you hit the limbs next. Synchronized sights across state lines compress the entire decision cycle before it can twitch. If the safe sits in City Hall, why crack a Midtown consulting suite, a Yonkers back room, and out-of-state warehouses in the same minute? Because the machine doesn't live at one address. It lives in process. The operational problem is camouflage. Distributed nodes hide as normal offices and vendor desks. Grants, payroll, and procurement move cash and product under the cover of routine forms. On paper, it reads civic. In motion, it feeds throughput. Each site, alone, looks clean. Together, they form a conveyor: procurement approvals that set the spend, outreach grants that launder purpose, vendor invoices that justify volume, and security retainers that gate access. That belt runs silent until you cut power at every motor, at once. Targeting follows a matrix. People with signature authority. Rooms where ledgers live. Servers that hold procurement data. Front companies welded to municipal workflows. You're not chasing faces, you're seizing the switches. Ledger correlation is the force multiplier. A stray spreadsheet tab or a 4-digit invoice code from one room unlocks another site when matched against payroll lines and grant disbursements. One key, many doors. It's the Rosetta Stone effect without the myth. Evidence choreography matters. Teams bag paper, clone drives with write blockers, and detain key custodians who know where the miscellaneous folder actually is. Findings uplink to a central cell that flags fresh taskings in real time. The raid breathes like a single body. Meanwhile, parallel financial actions bite. Shell accounts freeze across jurisdictions. Automated disbursements stall before business hours. Annual flows get cut midstream. The goal is not noise, it's stoppage. Now the mask slips. Recurring, consulting, and community outreach lines stack into a steady river, build small but constant, routing fuel to narcotics logistics while wearing city letterhead. The volume hides in repetition. The payoff lands fast. Synchrony denies adaptation time. The recovered ledger flips the frame, from a drug case to a systemic breach where ordinary forms were the delivery system. The lesson isn't a single door at dawn. It's targeting the process that powers the enterprise, and proving why tempo beats posture when you mean to cage a machine. Treat corruption like an enemy battle network. Hit the C2. Crash the comms. Choke the money. Seize the ledgers that make routine look innocent. That sequence turns motion into stasis and strips away the suit anti-camouflage that keeps rot alive inside the system. What would you target first, the executive suite, the ledger room, or the finance pipeline? Comment your choice below. If you want more AARs that decode real operations, subscribe. The shield holds when timing, tempo, and restraint align. 1 minute, well used, can cage an entire machine. And once caged, the work shifts from breach to rebuild, where daylight and discipline keep the doors open.